Hello, everybody. I read an article here just recently. I'm making this title. I'm titling this SEO Snake Oil for Lawyers, and the reason is because I found this article that I want to show you. And what this article is, it's a blog, and someone posted the blog, and the blog is, it's SEO Snake Oil. Here's the truth about search engine optimization for law firm websites. And it starts out, here's the simple truth. Search engine optimization is among the most overhyped marketing tactics in the legal industry. It may even be more hyped than social media. And then if you go down a little further, when most marketers think of SEO, they imagine that it works something like this. A prospective client, Google says, bankruptcy lawyer in Los Angeles. That person lands on the bankruptcy section of your website and read your marketing text. With a little luck, they contact you and you get a new customer. So basically what they're saying is that being on the first page of Google doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get clients. And they do a pretty good job of laying this out. And I agree with that. I agree that if you just look at the single piece of that and say, if I get on the first page of Google, let's say I'm a personal injury attorney, for personal injury attorney, Boise, Idaho, I get on the first page and that's automatically going to lead to clients. And sometimes it does. And I'll give you, for instance, when that happens. I have a client who repairs air compressors. And what he tells me is, as soon as he got on first page of Google, it made a huge impact in his business, because what happens is a company has an air compressor, the air compressor goes down, they have employees that can't work as long as the air compressor doesn't work, so they all stand around, so they got payroll going, nobody working, so they get on the internet, find the first person that they can find, get out there and fix the air compressor so they get back online. Maybe with law it doesn't work so simple. Maybe with a lawyer, if I'm hurt and I type in something, being hurt or injured in a car wreck, and a page of websites show up, and I'm not really so wanting to maybe get into a relationship with somebody without knowing a little bit more about them. And that's what this article is about. It's about not only having a first page on the page of Google, but having some blogging, having a video, having a hangout, having some other content that tells you. The other thing the article does, which is, I think, a very good point, is it tells you that being on the first page isn't only not the most important thing. It's actually one of the parts of having somebody call you, but it's the relationship that matters, and how to build the relationship, through other ways. And that maybe the way people are finding you isn't necessarily typing in a keyword and then a city, but people may be finding you by writing in a search engine, should I speak to the insurance company if I've been injured? And maybe you write a blog about that, and maybe that leads them to your website, and maybe that's how they contact you. So maybe this, rather than type in an exact term, they're typing in something else that they have an issue with, and then somehow that translates back to you. Which is why I like these Google Hangouts, because you can make a Google Hangout by something, and it gets thrown into search. And I'll show you real quick another thing that is really interesting. I made this Hangout just a little bit ago, and it's already showing up in search. If I just go SEO or Google SEO for attorneys, then I put in snake oil. Not that it's a highly searched keyword, but I did show up here a little bit ago. Let me see if I show up in. I did delete the video, so maybe it's not showing up. Right there it is. It's showing up, but it's not showing up with an icon or an image, because I deleted it because I needed to make a new one. But the thing I'm trying to say is that there's these long tail keywords is maybe how you're being found online, by a blog that leads back to your website, not necessarily by somebody just finding you on the first page of Google. But then again, when you look back at this article, you got to realize this article was written in 2011. And in 2011, Google didn't have reviews, they didn't have Google Local, and they didn't have ways for you to look at that attorney and make a decision if you want to work with that person. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I just type in personal injury attorney Chicago, in 2011 when that blog was written, they didn't have this part. They didn't have this section, which meant that maybe your results, if you just typed in personal injury attorney Chicago, could be a lot more diffused. You may not be getting local attorneys, or you may be getting other things. You may be getting directories or all kinds of scattered results. Now you got a specific group of people that you know are in the area of where you had your accident or where you need to call. The other thing, they didn't have these reviews. Now I can look at a review and decide if maybe I want to be with that particular attorney. So there's a lot more tools available on this first page to make someone want to do business with you. Not just that you're on this first page, but that they can read what other experiences people have with you on the first page. So when a lot of attorneys read blogs like this that are 4, 5, 6 years old, and they start to get this in their mindset, they have to realize that this is evolving, and that search engine optimization just isn't, being on the first page just isn't some diffused results that is automatically going to turn into a client. And I'm not saying that it turns into a client anyway, but I'm saying that being on the first page of Google is one of the, the very basic things you need to do, along with the Google Plus, along with the Google Hangouts, along with the YouTube videos, along with the content blogging, along with all that. That seems like a lot of work. But the good news is nobody else is doing it. I don't see anybody doing what I'm doing right here, right now, which is putting up, Google Plus Hangouts and then posting them. I don't see very many people doing very much. I mean, they're doing some blogging, but I don't see a lot of them do it. I'm not seeing hardly anybody doing all this work. So if you do it, you're going to be way ahead of the game. But it's not just getting ranked on the first page. It's not just automatically getting business because I got a first page ranking in Google and everybody's going to call me. So that's the point of that particular article. And I wanted to point that out, that was a good point, even though when I started reading, I thought maybe it was just going off another direction. So anyway, that's what I got for you. I'm going to try to make another one a little bit later on today about Hangouts, which is going to be very interesting. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.